And we are live. Welcome on into No Good Takes 19. Giuseppe Oliveri, Jeremy Horowitz. First time doing this in front of a live audience. So hello to everybody eventually when we get viewers. Jeremy, Jets looking good in preseason. Yankees picked up a big win. How are we
Huge.
feeling?
Um, I think for the first time in my 21 years of life, I am feeling good as a New York Jet fan. I granted it's only
Wow.
one preseason game, but I did see a lot of good, especially, I saw one drive from the starting offense, but from what I did see, it was really, really good. The O-line looked great. Fields was phenomenal, while throwing and running himself. Braylon Allen was he was sick to watch. I'm excited. Again, I don't think this Jet team is anywhere good enough to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to be a competitive team. Now, does that lead to more wins? I don't know, but I think it's going to allow them to be watchable, which is something that is new for the first time in a long time.
I
And
gotta say, that's tough though. Like
yeah,
competitive in a long time. I feel like we did that with the Rodgers era, and we said they were gonna be competitive then. The
yeah,
Jets have gotten to the point where I gotta see it to believe it.
I 100% agree with you. 100%. Yeah, the year for the Jets to be really good was 2023, and
Yeah.
obviously, we all know what happened then. But with the Yankees, last night it was a complete baseball game. Like they
Yeah.
up and down the lineup was phenomenal. The guys in the middle, everyone besides Goldschmidt at least had one hit. Judge big RBI single in the sixth or seventh inning. Um, Pitching was really really good. Weaver again continues to shine. Bednar looks great. Um, if they can just do that every night, they'd be great. But the problem is that doesn't happen all the time. But yeah, last night I was very very impressed with how complete of a baseball game they played.
And the one thing about the Yankees, and that's where we're going to start, is that they have been unable to ride a momentum of big wins for basically all season long now. Because we go in today, they're a game up on the Guardians, and it could still be half a game, but they dropped the last game of the series against Chicago, which was crazy against the White Sox. And if the Yankees just could capitalize and catch some fire, which I'm astonished that they haven't yet. You feel like that is just too good of a team to not at least catch a little bit of fire going, a little bit of a run. And again, there's been a lot of things that have been getting in their ways. The closing situation has been a mess. Volpe's defense has been a mess. You were doing it without Aaron Judge for a while, but now you have all of the pieces. And for the first time, you feel like you have everyone where they need to be. There's no more Devin Williams closing. That should be Bednar's role, and as long as he's healthy and as long as he's ready to go. But as of right now, the Yankees feel like they're poised to at least go on a little bit of a streak here. Even if they string together 3 or 4 wins, for how the last 2 months have gone, that's got to feel really big if you're a Yankees fan, especially in such a tight wild card race.
Yeah, it's crazy how tight the AL is because it's not a very strong league. So it's weird because a lot of the teams, like they're just okay, like they're average. So for the Yankees to be in that kind of area is just weird because before the season started, even first couple months of the season, everyone thought the Yankees were going to be this world-beating giant, and
Yeah.
that's not what we are. Granted, you look at this roster again. I think I say it every time we record something. You look at this roster on paper, you think this is one of the best baseball teams in the past, 10, 20 years. Just looking at the names on the roster. Obviously, the way they play baseball is much different than that. But Trent Grisham said it, I think, about a week ago. He said like he feels that this team is so close to getting hot, and he's been phenomenal for the Yankees. Um, and I don't think you can let him go in the offseason. He's a guy who I think is kind of like a glue guy. Maybe that's not the best example, but Trent Grisham is a really, really good teammate, and he's a guy the Yankees need around. And I agree. I feel like they're just a couple things away from getting really hot. And this Twins team, had a fire sale at the deadline all night last night on the broadcast. Michael Kay, Joe Girardi, Paul O'Neill, they were saying like how much different this Twins team is from a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And this is the first time the Yankees have seen the Twins this year, and they have completely owned the Twins over the past 5-10 years. The record against the Twins is insane. So this has to start it. This has to be the 3-game stretch where the Yankees just get hot, they learn how to play good baseball again, and they just don't look back.
And again, a 3-game, 4-game stretch doesn't really feel like a whole lot, but where we are in the season and how close the Yankees are to being on the outside looking in, it's big. And especially you look at the Guardians, they're red hot. And I always look at this of two ways with teams like this who caught fire late in the season. It's either they are hot and that's the team that they're going to be, or they're going to reach the tail end of their hot streak and they're going to fizzle back out. Like you look at the Blue Jays and the Rays are perfect examples of that. The Rays were red hot in June and they looked untouchable and you felt like that they were going to at least be in a wild card spot by the end of the year. And now look at them. They're not even in the conversation anymore. And then you go to the Blue Jays, who I felt like were hot, and that was a team destined to come back down. And now they're running away with the American League East. And the Guardians are in a weird spot because they tried to sell and they've had so many issues with the bullpen and betting on themselves and whatever that may be, whatever that comes out to be. And they tried to move pieces that couldn't get moved. And now all of a sudden, here they are. They're one Yankee slip up away from being in a playoff spot. And by the way, the Guardians are going to Miami. And I know that we are big Marlins advocates on this podcast, but it's not like that the Marlins are this play spoiler team. Unless they face the Mets, they're not going to play spoiler to anybody. They're just going to roll over. It's what they do. So if you're the Yankees, 3 or 4 wins feels amazing. And I do want to talk about Trent Grisham because he's been the hottest Yankee for about the last week or so. He's been the clutchest Yankee really all season long. And I agree with you. I don't know how you could let Trent Grisham walk, especially with the uncertainty of next season. You know, Bunk brought it up when he was doing the Burrows the other day. A lot of these Yankees are getting older, and you feel like the window's closing, at least with this core. And Grisham just feels like one of those guys that you need to bring back. And I think they will. I think that the Yankees know what they have, and especially after the year that Grisham's had, there's no way they can let him walk.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think as of right now, as we stand on August 12th, it is no longer the Juan Soto trade. It's the Trent Grisham trade, and Soto's just a part of that. But, yeah, I agree. The Judge and Stanton window is definitely closing. I mean, as they age, they're only going to decline. So I think Grisham is just one of those guys who's clutch. He's going to perform well in the playoffs. We saw him do it against the Mets in 2022. Granted, I think he was also the guy in right field who let the ball roll under his glove against the Nationals in the 2019 wildcard game.
Yep,
and I think he's come a long way from that. And by the way, a little off topic, but his mustache is phenomenal. He's
is it not? It's amazing.
It's so nice. So having that around the clubhouse is just another, another reason to keep him. But yeah, I think Grisham is kind of a guy they need back. He is a veteran presence. He plays phenomenal defense, and when he's hot, he's a phenomenal hitter, in my opinion. He uses the Yankee Stadium short porch to his advantage. A huge home run. I think it was on Saturday against Houston in the bottom of the 8th. 3-2, 2 out, nobody on. They want to win that game. That's a huge win because they lost Friday night. They lost Sunday against Houston. So, that's a huge swing. Losing 2 out of 3 and getting swept. I know it's only one game, but it just feels like a huge difference. And the fact that it's Trent Grisham doing these things and it's not Judge or Stanton or Bellinger or Goldschmidt or Volpis, it's nice to see, a guy who they brought over last year as just like a bench piece who was really turned into an everyday ball player, a great defensive player, and his bat has been great for us all year. I don't see him letting him go. And hopefully he can rub off on Aaron Judge a little bit because Judge finally looks like he's starting to get his swing back a little. I think he's 4 for 19 since coming back from the IL. No extra base hits. It's only a matter of time until Judge gets going, and I really think facing Minnesota is exactly what he needs.
Yeah, they'll come back around. And again, with the Houston series, it felt like a series just going into it. And I don't know if you felt this way too, where I just didn't think the Yankees were going to win. They're welcoming Houston, who's definitely cooled down. But as these two teams have been playing, it just feels like the Astros are eons ahead of the Yankees right now. And it showed. And Devin Williams lets up the home run. And of course he does. But it's just it's two different teams right now. And you can say that about the Yankees and you compare them to a lot of the teams in the AL. And one win against the Astros does feel big. Yeah. I remember sitting there, I was watching the Mets against the Brewers, and I said, just salvage one game and it feels monumental to a team that's been reeling. And the Yankees now, again, if they just win a series, they go out there and win today. If they win tomorrow and win 2 out of 3, if they sweep, imagine. But you got to feel like you're on top of the world. It just feels like the Yankees right now still in a playoff spot. That's the benefit you could take of this, that the Mets and Yankees are two teams that have been just absolutely losing track of themselves, and they're still in a playoff spot entering today. Could change in a week. But, it's just that you built yourself such a cushion in the beginning of the year where you can afford it. You don't want this to happen, but the fact of the matter is like you're here, and at the end of the day, it's fine. Like you're here now. You're still in a playoff spot. Like, figure it out. You need to figure it out now.
Yeah. I'm going to hit on your point on Houston. I'm going to go on what you just said. So anytime the Yankees play the Astros, it feels like they're going to lose every time. Ever since 2017, it feels like the Yankees are never just good enough to compete with Houston. They could be playing the best baseball ever in franchise history, and I still think Houston would beat them. Houston is just one of those teams who own the Yankees like the Yankees own the Twins. I just think it's just a thing, and there's not much logic behind it other than the fact that they can't beat Houston. And the thing that's tough right now with both the Yankees and the Mets, we saw the Mets kind of do it last year. I mean, they were playing playoff baseball since like late June, early July, the Mets.
Yeah.
And they were hot. They rode a wave. And I do think they weren't as good as they were playing, but they were just hot. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the Rays were in June. Maybe like the Blue Jays are now. I think at that point they were hot. I'm not saying they weren't a good team, but I think they were just hot and they were continuing to ride the wave. This year, I feel like both the Yankees and the Mets have to kind of do something similar. They have to kind of play playoff baseball in August just to get to October with the way things are racking up now. Maybe not as extreme as last season, but like with how tight these races are, you got to play with some type of fire, with some type of intensity. And every game, at least that I watch with the Yankees, it feels like it's a playoff game. Every single game. And it just feels like they're going to have to play every game like it's game 7 of the ALCS to have a chance to get to October.
But how the season started, like, are you not sick to your stomach saying that?
100%. I was hoping I wanted to talk about that.
People are going up to me and they're saying, if you told me the Mets would be in a wild card spot, I'd be okay. Yeah, that's about where I expect them to be. What's the big concern? What if I told you were 21 games over 500?
Oh, right,
and now you're a game and a half from being out of a wild card spot.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a fair way to look at it. I'm not saying that's wrong at all. I've always been wanting to look at the positive way. But yeah, now it's brutal. Both teams, the Mets were soaring in April and May. Same thing with the Yankees. The torpedo bat Yankees look like the next coming of Murderers Row. The fact that both teams are where they are now is definitely deflating. But the fact of the matter is, if the season ends today, they're in the playoffs. It doesn't matter where you are. It matters if you get in. Because if you're in, you have a chance. If you're in the dance, you have a chance. So, listen, again, it would be a big blow to be, the second or third wildcard team for either the Yankees and the Mets. But if they're in the playoffs, there's a chance for them to do damage. I think the Mets are more set up for success come the postseason, just with the way that bullpen is. But again, if both, I do think both teams are going to make the playoffs. I'd be shocked if Cleveland hops the Yankees. I don't think Cleveland's that good, and I think the Mets are better than Cincinnati. They're just in a rut. I don't see a world where the Yankees and the Mets just they just limp out the next month and a half. I don't see it.
I do.
I can't totally see it. There's no way the Mets continue to play this bad. There's no way the Yankees continue to play this bad for the next month and a half. There's going to be one swing or one game-saving play or season-saving play, and they're just going to rally around it. The Mets need another gimmick. They need another Grimace or Hawk Tua or Squirrel in the dugout. They need something to rally around.
No gimmicks. Good baseball teams don't need gimmicks. The Dodgers don't have gimmicks. The Brewers don't have a gimmick. The Yankees never had a gimmick when they were always in the playoffs. No more gimmicks. You're a good baseball team. You know what your gimmick is? Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso. That should be your gimmick all the time, and it's not working.
No, they can't.
And if the season ended today, it doesn't end today. It ends in a month from now. And guess what? I have a lot of confidence right now. I'm not going to be watching Mets playoff baseball. And Jeremy, I'm going to be totally honest with you. You are delusional right now. If you think you're going to see the Yankees in a playoff spot right now, it can change. I know it can change.
One good week is all it takes.
But we're saying to ourselves, I can't see the Reds or the Guardians overtaking the Mets and Yankees. But you know what I can see? I can see the Mets and Yankees continue to fall over themselves, where the Reds and Guardians, all they have to do is play 500 ball, and they're in a playoff spot. That's my vision. That's what I can see. It's not about the Guardians and the Reds overtaking the Mets and the Yankees. It's about the Mets and the Yankees letting the Reds and Guardians take over them. Stay with me here for a second. It's tough.
I'm
I
listening.
know.
I'm
But
listening.
these are not, the headline is not the Guardians and the Reds. It's never going to be the Guardians and the Reds. The headline is going to be, can the Mets and Yankees just control their own destiny? And I don't think they can.
No,
I
the
don't
Yankees' schedule the
either of
rest of
them
the
can.
year would be, I think, maybe 3 or 4 series against Boston and Toronto. Like, it's weak. If the ball's in their court, if they manage to screw that up, they're 100% right. But I can't see it. There's no way they don't beat up on Minnesota and Baltimore. Granted, they've been so bad against the AL East, but like they play the White Sox for 6 games. Like, it feels like they had like it's in their hands. It's right in front of us, as Aaron Boone says.
It's right in front of
Right in
us.
front of them.
I know.
With what I'm looking at on the schedule, and again, the team on paper, which isn't the team we get on the field every night, but with what they have to go through to get there, I don't see a world where they don't at least sneak into a wild card spot.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. After Minnesota, you go to St. Louis, and then you go to Tampa Bay for 2 games.
Yeah, I saw that last
What's
night.
that?
Weird. I don't understand.
Yeah, and then you're home for Boston for 4 games.
Yeah, that's scary series.
That could really dictate, again, a good and bad series can dictate where you are in the standings if you're the Yankees.
If they
control your own
split the
destiny.
series, cool. If they go 2-2 against Boston that series, fine. Whatever.
Just don't lose, right? That's what it feels like right now.
Yeah.
Just don't lose.
Because they could probably hover around 500. Maybe, don't dip below, but either be 500 or better the rest of the season. They'll get in.
Yeah, look at the Red Sox. The losers of their last 3. They're coming off of a high right now. Yankees are a game and a half back of them. So, assuming that's where the standings sort of stay, give a half game a game from there, you're right in it.
Yeah, that's
gotta feel good.
Both sides. That's a huge series. Anytime you get Yankees Red Sox, it's supposed to be this big rivalry. I don't think it has been for a while, but this year, that's a huge series. Both teams could be within a game or 2 of each other at Yankee Stadium, weekend series. Like, that's huge. And I think they play in Boston late. I think maybe mid-September. I think it's like the 12th, 13th, 14th, around there. Like, those are 2 huge series. And the Yankees got to play Toronto, I think, one or 2 more times too. So, but besides that, you got to play the White Sox 6 times. You got to play St. Louis, who, they're Like, the Cardinals don't scare me. I'm not circling that game on my schedule to be worried about. The Orioles, I know the Yankees aren't that great against the AL East, but the Orioles are garbage. Like, their schedule is weak. So
I know where you're coming from with the weak schedule, but it's just how the Yankees have been playing. I don't know if you could use that as
no, that's fair. And then, granted, they've been playing bad. They've been playing very bad baseball. But if they just play decent baseball, they'll beat the bad teams.
But let me pose this to you.
You
think the Cardinals are looking at their schedule right now and they're saying, "Oh, we got the Yankees next. Thank God, a little breather." These guys haven't been playing good baseball since the end of May.
Yeah, the Yankees.
It goes either way.
Yeah, the Yankees used to be the team that you circle, like, oh, the Yankees are coming to town, like, we got to bear down. Now it's like, oh, the Yankees are coming, like, we could beat them, we can hang with them. They're not that good. So yeah, I totally agree. Like, looking at it from that perspective, teams are probably excited to play the Yankees. Make them make the plays. That's what Dave Roberts said last year in the World Series. Like, make them play defense, and I'm sure that's what other teams are thinking as well. So
probably
that's a very good perspective to have. I agree with that. That makes sense.
For the Yankees, looking at the schedule, and I'm going to do the same thing when we're talking about the Mets. You got to win a series against Minnesota. Ideally, you would love to sweep either Minnesota or St. Louis.
Yeah.
The goal is to get as many wins in these next 2 series before you get to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if the Rays have 10 wins to the season. They're always going to play the Yankees hard. They're never going to be an easy win.
Yeah, because the Rays do everything right that the Yankees don't.
All the time. Always talk about it, and it's a mess. All right. I want to talk about Max Fried also, because he's been reeling a little bit over his last couple of starts. He's been bad. No way to put it. 3 of his last 4 starts, he's let up at least 4 runs. And if you want to go even further, I think that number goes up to like 5 of his last 7 or something like that. So
he's been really bad. I think part of it is due to that blister he had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, in Toronto.
Yeah, I think there's more to that than they let out. But even before that, he was kind of iffy. Like, his April, May, and his June were pretty good. And then, he got into late June, early July. That's when he started to struggle. The Yankees' offense was okay in a couple of those games. So I think they kind of helped him out and gave him either no decision or a win. But yeah, he hasn't been the Max Fried that he was advertising himself as early on in the year. And granted, guys are going to go through highs and lows of a season. But for it to be this consistent, it's very eye-opening because he was the guy, he gets on the mound, especially after a loss. Like, you pretty much pencil the Yankees in for a W. He hasn't been that for an extended period of time. So it's definitely scary because that's supposed to be the guy who's going to start game one of a playoff series. And if he can't, if he can't shut teams down in August, the confidence level definitely drops.
And again, this is just going to speak on how spoiled the Yankees have been with Fried. In May, he let up 11 earned runs. In June, his best month, he only let up 7 earned runs through, 5 starts. And then July hit him like a truck. He let up 16 earned runs, 21 runs in general. That's 5 unearned runs. So that just goes to show you the Yankees defense, how that's been. And granted, some of those errors were on Fried. It's not like he was, watching them. And then he's through 2 starts in August. Both of them, he's let up 4 runs each time they've been earned. So, again, a tough start to August for Fried. And it's one of those guys where he's got to figure it out.
This month,
the Yankees need him.
It was Houston and who else this month for Fried?
Hold on, let's see. I just put it down. Houston and Texas.
Yeah, the Texas game was bad. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he just hasn't been the same guy that we saw early in the year. No, I don't have a fix for it. I just hope he starts missing the barrel a little bit more. I think the blister thing definitely had something to do with it because he was kind of railing before that happened, but ever since then, it's been bad. I think there's more to that than the Yankees initially, let on. It feels maybe not very similar, but it feels a little bit like the Mika Zibanejad injury a couple years ago.
Oh my God, when he was day to day for the entire season.
Yeah, so it kind of granted he's still pitching, he's still on the field, but something just doesn't feel right with Fried right now, and the Yankees aren't going to say that. They're not going to let anyone know what's really going on. But he just has to bear down. He's a great pitcher. We've seen it before throughout his career. But also, in some of those games, the Yankees offense didn't show up. So he could have let up 1 run. They probably still would have lost.
Yeah, I mean, Donnie, for the Yankees fans' sake, I hope you're right. Fried
That's
will
so
be
cool.
okay.
We have people commenting. That's so sick.
Yeah, right. We made it to the big time.
Wow, Donnie, I agree.
I mean, I hope so, Donnie, because let's put it like this. August, we're going to see Fried, make 2 or 3 more starts? He's got to give you length. My big thing with Fried has been he's been giving the Yankees outstanding length for the majority of the season. He went 5 innings, both against the Rangers and Houston. Then he went 6 2/3 to start before that against Tampa Bay. And then you look at the starts before that, and he's not going as deep as he was in June. Again, we look at June as the standard month for Fried. And ever since then, it's been a steady decline. And again, when you were pitching that good in June, we don't expect you to maintain those numbers. But the big concern for me is that he hasn't been able to get back there at least once or twice. And that's where it starts to get concerning. Am I saying that he's going to be a problem for the Yankees? No, he's still the best pitcher you have in that rotation. But at the very bare minimum, Fried has got to give you a little more length. And I know that's asking a lot because he's been so good with that all season long. But you can't sit there and say the guy who's been giving you all these innings like what Cole did. He cannot get away from that in the stretch of the season like this.
No, I agree. And that's something I think you could kind of say about the entire Yankees pitching staff right now. I mean, Will Warren went last night. He went 6 and change.
That's true, Donnie.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But the whole thing with the Yankees rotation right now has been none of them can go deep into a game. You go into the bullpen in the 5th, 6th inning pretty much every night, it felt like. And that just led to the bullpen collapsing. Because say you go to a guy in the 6th inning, you got to think, it's a guy per inning. That's 4 guys. You got to hope all of them are on. If your starter can't give you length, Fried and the rest of the staff hasn't been giving you, you have no chance to compete because you can't go with Tim Hill and Weaver and Williams and Bednar and Doval every night. And expect all those guys to be on and be perfect every single time. It's not going to happen. You need length from your starters. Warren was phenomenal last night. He gave up, besides the 2 solo homers, I think he gave up 1 single, maybe 2. He was phenomenal. I'm not asking guys to pitch like that every night. That's not what I'm saying. But find a way to limit the pitch count per inning. Go out there, just pitch the contact, and get 6. Just go into the 6th inning. get a couple outs into the 6th inning, and if you can do that, they have a chance to win every night. They
I
need
think
good.
that's a fair ask. I think that's what the standard should be, at least for a guy like Fried.
Yeah, oh, 100. If your ace can't get you into the 6th inning, you have a problem. He's not. Then he's not your ace. Granted,
Yeah,
Fried
and
has been really good, but
yeah,
like not now, but he's been really good this year, and we've seen stretches of him going into like the 8th, 9th inning. Just go deep into the game. Go into the 6th inning and give us a chance to win.
and again, you got to take some things into consideration about July and those inflated numbers and not going deep into games. How many times was he about to get out of an inning and somebody booted a ball in the outfield or in the infield?
The
That's other things they gotta, other things gotta write in. But that's a problem probably for all of the Yankee starters. And I said it for the Mets after the deadline. You can't build up this super bullpen and say that this bullpen is going to solve all your problems if your starters can't go deep enough for you where you don't have to use them every night.
I mean, even the game we went to, what was it, last week?
Yeah.
Clay Holmes started. He pitched 4 innings, and you got to go to Soto on the 5th.
Yeah, and I was frustrated because he was cruising that game.
He looked really good. His pitch, what do you have, like 60, 70 pitches?
Yeah, like he could have at least. I'm not saying he could have got you through the next inning, but just put him out there.
Yeah,
and granted, Gregory Soto did good, whatever. Tyler Rogers lets up a run, sure. I'm not expecting these guys in the bullpen to be lights out every time, but if you got a guy and who hasn't been able to go deep for you all season and he's finally showing you life, ride that wave. I haven't been happy with Mendoza. I always handled the bullpen really all season.
No, he's been bad. I know Frank Fleming hasn't been happy with him either.
And I got to say this too, not to get off topic for the Yankees. To everybody out there who's so ready to fire Mendoza, pump the brakes, dude. Because everybody's complaining, oh, this guy is a terrible manager. He doesn't know how to handle the bullpen. The bats aren't going. I don't think people realize that Mendoza showed these same issues last year, but they were just masked because the team was so hot for the majority of the season after June. You got to be patient with him. He's a second-year manager. I agree with Donnie firing all cylinders today. Donnie, hell yeah.
That's hot. He's 3 for 3.
Donnie, 3 for 4.
4 for 4.
Boone's got to go.
He's not going.
No, but in all seriousness, he's a second-year manager, and you need to give the guy time. And I understand the whole win now situation with the Mets. 2026 is the year they really put in all their eggs in one basket. But second-year manager, growing pains. You can't be like our New York Rangers. Every time there's adversity faced with a coach or a manager, you'll go and get a new one. It doesn't work like that. It can't. The guys love Mendoza. He's a new school type of manager. He's not married to analytics, but he understands it. And let's keep something perfectly in mind here. We talk about Boone and how much of a puppet he is for Cashman. You think Mendoza isn't listening to David Stearns every day also, to at least some extent? Of course he is. I don't know.
I'm sure in both clubhouses there's some premeditated things. Like maybe the plan for Clay Holmes that day was to only go 4 innings. Like maybe that was just a premeditated thing for the day. I don't know if you saw it. It's one of your favorite guys, Clint Frazier. He was on a podcast. I don't know
this.
Yeah, he was saying how the Yankees run things. Boone writes his lineup. The analytical guys write their lineup. Then they go together and they mix and match. And I'm sure the bullpen, like if say Fried's pitching, right, and they go, say Fried's pitching, they say, all right, we want Fried going 5 2/3, and pull him and put in Tim Hill, right? Like, and they just do that. Like, there's no like flow of the game or a certain situation that they even take into account. And I'm sure the Mets do the similar thing. Mendoza, like Boone, is a very analytical guy. That's just how these teams are run. Is it the right way? I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with analytics being the only thing that drives decisions. I think, it's got to be a mix of both analytics and kind of like what's going on in the game. But he was saying like everything's kind of premeditated with the Yankees. And if Boone were to go and he's the only one that is fired, nothing changes. I think, if Boone's going to go, then others are going to have to go as well. It's going to be Boone. It'll be Cashman. It'll be, the whole regime is going to have to go if they want serious change.
But it'll never be that, though.
No, never going to happen. Never. And say they do fire Boone and they bring in Jim Leyritz as the manager, it's gonna be the same thing. They bring in Gigi Oliveira as the manager, it's gonna be the same thing. Like if the Yankees really want change, it's going to have to be a complete fire sale in the front office. And again, that's never gonna happen.
It's just you can't have your manager listening to, Cashman and Hal all the time. We brought this up last week about Joe Girardi and how fans wanted Girardi out at the end of his run. But let's be honest, Yankees fans would kill for a manager like Joe Girardi right now. Somebody who's going to see how it is and call out his players. My whole thing with Boone, and I'm not going to criticize Boone for this, but, let's go back to 2017, not 2017, 2019. Back to 2019, and my guys are savages in the box. And, he's defending them tooth and nail, and he's ripping on other people. And I love that about Boone. But I think when the roles are reversed, he shouldn't be afraid to rip into his own guys. We were playing the Terry Collins speech the other day when the Breezes got bounced from the playoffs. Yeah, if you don't want to get after it, we will find guys who are willing to get after it. And that's how it's felt for the Yankees. Legitimately, since June, that's how it's felt for the Yankees. You need guys who are willing to get after it. But the problem is, when you have a manager like Aaron Boone, you feel comfortable with how you're playing, and you feel comfortable with the errors and the mistakes because he won't call you out and he won't, poise you out how it is. He'll say it's okay. And that's the problem. That's my biggest issue with Boone. It's what it's been all season long.
Yeah, and I think that's just something with the new age of managing. You know what I mean? Like Girardi or Collins or Showalter, guys like that, they would never let that stand. I think it's just a new age of managing, letting things just be premeditated and letting the analytics drive everything. Because, again, no one cares about batting average anymore. No one cares about, anything like that. They care about OPS, they care about slug, and they care about on base. That's all teams care about. Like, you could be for your last 37, but if you hit good against lefties, you'll be in the lineup the next day. It's such a weird – it's the only sport that's like that too. The only sport.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about it. And I know the argument is, well, look at the Dodgers, look at the Astros, these analytically driven teams. And yeah, I agree with analytics leading how you make decisions, but I don't agree like what you're saying with it can't be your only factor. If a guy is slumping, take him out, sit him a day. We're going to get to that conversation a little bit when we get to the Mets. Yeah. But, if this is where I think I might push back against you here. If a lefty's in right now, and I have a lefty who's good with the reverse splits, and I got a righty on the bench who can't hit lefty to save his life. It's just how it is. Maybe I'll stick with the lefty. That's where I'll say I'll pay attention to these splits and whatnot because
I agree with that.
Telling me because that's where it's not how it used to be anymore. When I go into the SNY broadcast and listen to Keith Hernandez talk about how it was in the 80s, well, I love Keith. Guy's a national treasure. It's not like that anymore.
No, I do like listening to him though. He's a very good listen.
He's something. He's definitely something. He's really funny. He's funny, but he's a good baseball mind also,
Yeah, he knows the game.
Yeah. And this is what I agree with Donnie. Volpe should have been sent down months ago. The only problem is before Caballero was traded for, you had nobody to go into his spot. Yeah. So if you had somebody to replace Volpe, I think he would have been sent down months ago. I agree with that. And I almost wish they did.
What I wonder with him, like he never played AAA. He went straight from Somerset AA to the MLB. Like, I don't know if that's the reason for his struggling or anything like that. But do you think, like, say he played AAA with the Rail Riders, like, I think he would have been able to get the kinks out, kind of find himself before going up to the majors and playing shortstop for the Yankees. Like, not having that AAA experience, do you think that kind of hurt him?
Well, my whole thing is, yes, I definitely think that he would have benefited from AAA. But what everybody's going to say is that AA pitching is harder than AAA pitching because AAA is a bunch of washed-up guys who aren't able to hit. Yeah, like Donnie said, look at Spencer Jones. Because I don't know if you can see the comments. Spencer Jones struggled in AA, killed it in AAA, but it's because AAA pitching is relatively weaker than AA pitching. But he didn't have time to mature and grow as a player, and that's my biggest thing. If you look at Francisco Alvarez, Brett Beatty, when he got called back up and he was hot, Vientos last year was such a big catalyst for this. It's not necessarily about, going down and working on kinks as so much as it is getting confidence back, AAA pitching, much weaker than Major League and AA pitching. But if you can just hit pitching, again, something that you haven't been able to do, then it feels good when you get called back up. Sometimes it's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
And Volpe has been in the spotlight of New York media all season long in a negative way. We haven't talked about Volpe much in a positive light this year or really last year.
What are you going to say? It's positive.
Exactly. I think getting sent down would have really helped him, but we
Yeah.
talked about it a couple weeks ago, Jeremy. When your team is in a win now mode, you can't afford to let players grow and be patient with them. They got to be ready to go now.
But it feels like Yankees have been in a win now mode since like 20, I don't know, 15 last year. I think the last time besides 2022 they didn't make the playoffs was or 2021. I don't remember I don't know. I don't remember the exact year.
They
but
missed
like
in 23, I think.
23,
The Mets and Yankees
yes.
missed in 23
Like
together.
ever since like 2014, it feels like every year they're trying to win. Now there is no like development phase for the Yankees. At least I can't remember one.
Which is why I think that you got to kind of pivot a little bit. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm totally understanding of why the Yankees kept Volpe in for as long as they did and why they continue to. Like, I get you had nobody else to. And I'm sure there was a stubbornness there. You really are. They are married to Anthony Volpe. They full-heartedly believe this is their guy. But if this was a Yankees team who had, some sort of decent substitution for Anthony Volpe, he'd be in AAA right now.
Yeah.
And, no doubt about it, he'd still be in AAA. Or maybe he'd been called up by now, but he would have absolutely been in AAA at some point this season if the Yankees had somebody they had confidence in to replace him. Didn't have to be good. Because Volpe wasn't giving you good defense. He wasn't getting on base. So it's not like he had to be good.
Play a position for a little while. Yeah. No, I agree.
Just figures it out. Whatever. I think that's my whole spiel on Volpe. Do you have anything else with the Yankees?
Yeah, one thing before we move on. So I was at a card show on Sunday, and I was trying to sell cards. Just stick with me here. I was trying to sell cards to a couple people, and Anthony Volpe got brought up. And his market beginning of the season last year was all-time high. Now, it's on a decline because he's not playing that well. So I was selling to a guy, and I had a Volpe card I was just trying to get rid of because I didn't really want it. And it was like call it $40. I think I sold it for. And I said, listen, this time last year it would have been a $100, $150 card. He goes, well, I don't understand why everyone's saying Volpe's so bad. Like, he's not that bad. So I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, well, everyone's batting like 230. He's got like 20 home runs. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking he's not supposed to be a guy who's going to bat 230 and hit 20 home runs. And also, I don't think he's even batting 230. I think he's batting closer to 210, 220. But when he was brought up, he's not supposed to be a guy who's batting 210, 220, 230 with 20 bombs. He's supposed to be a guy who's around 260, 270 plus and is on base and is stealing 30, 40 bags a year. That argument that, everyone strikes out or everyone is batting 220, like that doesn't apply to him because that's not what he's supposed to be.
Let's see. He's batting 218, 702 OPS.
Yeah, OPS barely over 700. Like that's not the type of guy he's supposed to be. He also leads the MLB in errors as a shortstop, at the New York Yankees shortstop. And he was brought up. The whole thing was his glove and his speed. Mm-hmm. I have yet to really see either of them come to full fruition.
It's just like, the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. I think it's the opposite with Volpe. Comparison is like the bringer of joy for the guy because, the guy brings up a sad point. Well, you can sit here and talk about Volpe all you want, but what about everybody else on the Yankees who are struggling? Fair. Then you can take Volpe out. But again, I agree with you. Well, I'm not talking about everybody else on the Yankees, am I? I'm talking about Anthony Volpe.
I don't need my 8-hitter batting 218. Like, that's not what my 8-hitter is supposed to be doing. A guy like him, like he's supposed to be hitting around give me 260. A competitive 260 and get on and walk and just steal. That's all I need from a guy like him.
And again, if he plays stellar defense and he's a demon on the base path, then you could say, you know what, we don't need the bat as high because at least he's helping you in other aspects of the game.
Like Joey Ortiz, I wouldn't care. If we had Joey Ortiz, I wouldn't care. If Anthony Volpe turns into Joey Ortiz, fine. Just play Gold Glove defense every year or close to it.
Literally nothing. This guy has given nothing outside of a couple of power surges this year. He's given the Yankees nothing. And we go back to blaming Cashman at the beginning of the season that you constructed this roster where you didn't give Anthony Volpe the opportunity to go back down and work on his game. Yep. He's young. Nobody would have called Anthony Volpe a major bust if he got sent down. We saw Vientos, Beatty, and Alvarez all get sent back down. And if Mauricio never got hurt, I'm sure we would have seen Mauricio get sent back down as well, not due to injury, just due to poor play.
Mhm.
It's just what happens with young guys.
Yeah,
And
and
I don't know.
the whole thing with the Yankees, like, they never wanna be wrong. Like, every trade they make, they're trying to stick it out to make it seem like they won the trade, or every decision they make to call a guy up, they keep him there for too long to make it seem, to try to figure out if they made the right decision or not. They always wanna
Yeah.
be right and never admit that they're wrong. You saw it with the Joey Gallo trade and the Sonny Gray trade and the Frankie Montas trade and Devin Williams trade. Like, they don't ever show that, oh, we made a mistake. Like, let's try to fix it. They just try to stick it out, make sure like they won the trade, they made the right decision.
This is, I mean, all the time. All the time. And you know what? We're like the Shield right now, the big three with Donnie and everything he's giving.
Yeah,
Prospect hugging is big. And let me ask you
regardless.
this, Jeremy, because Mike and Bunk brought this up the other day on their show. And this is definitely interesting with Spencer Jones and and Jason Dominguez. What do you think they're gonna come out to? Because Spencer Jones, I don't really like talking about as much because he was on a power surge. This guy's the next Judge. Now he's slumping again. This guy's never gonna translate to big league hitting.
Yeah.
With Jason Dominguez is one thing. Again, he's still young and you give him time, but where do you kind of stand on them? Like at this point in their careers and what's going on with the Yankees, like I don't know where to stand on these guys. I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, Dominguez, like, he was getting compared, he was being called like the next Mike Trout when he was signed. He was like a 16, 17-year-old kid being compared to arguably one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Yeah.
That's not a fair comparison for a 16-year-old kid. But granted, Dominguez now, what is he, 23, 24?
22, I think. I think
Yeah,
he's a little
whatever he is.
younger.
He's a guy who is a switch hitter who can hit lefties and can't play defense. Like,
Mhm.
I think he is what he's showing us. He can't play defense. He came up as a center fielder, and he can't play a corner outfield spot. He can hit lefties from the right side. I think he's a guy who, if he's facing a righty, if he's batting lefty, he'll be great. He'll get on, he can run. But anytime a ball goes into anytime a ball gets hit to him, you hold your breath and you hope he catches it. It's like the Sandlot scene where Smalls is closing his eyes and saying, "Please catch it, please catch it." That's what I feel like when the balls hit Dominguez's way. Jones, I have no idea because again, he's getting compared. He's being called the lefty Aaron Judge. I have absolutely no idea what to think about him because he can come up and he could suck. He could be a Joey Gallo type of guy who can come up and tear the cover off the ball for 2 weeks, and the Yankees will hold on to him and it'll be the same thing as always. Like they can't develop guys. That's what I've learned over the past few years. They can't develop people that aren't named Aaron Judge. So
It's
I don't know what to stand on the prospects. I have no idea. Dominguez is like a 5th-year rookie or something like that. He was supposed to be a rookie 2 years ago. So
I
I
just think
don't.
it's unfair for this guy. Like
It is.
Dominguez
It's so
looking at
hard.
him, he's 22 years old. How many 22-year-olds do you see get called up and just instantly make an impact?
None. It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Unless you're Juan Soto. Unless you're Juan Soto.
The only three I could think of, like in our lifetime, and I could be wrong. I'm sure there's more out there. Consistently, I'm not talking about just little like streaks here and there. Probably Trout, Harper, and Soto are the only
Yeah.
three really young guys that got called up and made instant impacts and
I
stayed
agree.
consistent with it.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Like, it doesn't happen, especially with how good pitching is now. Like, it doesn't happen. My biggest
Yeah.
concern with Dominguez is his defense. Like, I'm sure his bat will come around from the right side, but the fact that he can't catch a fly ball going to his right, ranging to a ball on his right hand and reach across his body, that is what worries me a lot. Like, that is my biggest concern with him is his defense.
Yeah, and I can't believe the guy's a natural center fielder and he gets moved
It
to a
doesn't look
corner
like it.
outfield. And by the way, one of like the smallest corner outfields in the MLB at Yankee Stadium.
It makes it
And
look
they just
impossible.
makes it look hard. I mean, again, I'm not a major league player. I'm not going to sit here in my chair today at 11:51 in the morning and say I can do it. But it's, MLB the average guy, like he makes it look hard. That's where I want to end on my Yankee spiel. If you want
Yeah,
anything else, the floor is yours.
they just can't develop guys. That's the big MO with the Yankees farm system. They can't
Mhm.
develop guys. And I don't know what change has to be made for that to happen for them to learn how to develop guys, but they can't run the bases, they can't play defense. So that's kind of the same thing we say every week. But on the bright side, they control their own destiny to get into the playoffs. Weak schedule. Judge is back. I mean, granted, he's like 4 for 19 since being back with no extra base hits, but in my eyes, he's due. So and he's playing Minnesota. So he's notably good against Minnesota. So I think Judge will turn around. I think they're about to get hot. How hot, I don't know. But I think they're about to rattle off a couple ones in a row and, kind of show everyone that they can compete.
All right. That's a good way to end it off. That's an optimistic Yankees fan right there. Something that I'm not showing with my Mets one bit in.
I've been a Jet fan for 21 years. I know how to find the bright side in things.
For the Mets, and you definitely cannot use the same argument of an easy schedule. Mets have one of the toughest schedules down the stretch. You see the Phillies a ton of times. But right now, game by game for the Mets, usually you would look at this and say, welcoming the Braves to Citi Field, time to beat up on a bad team. Jeremy, yeah, I'm not confident at all. Even when the Mets weren't struggling, they just can't beat the Braves. Some teams just have teams' numbers, and this is one of those scenarios. And look, in a perfect world, I would love to sit here and say you could take 2 out of 3 easy for the Braves, because out of any other team in the league, basically, you probably would be able to say that. Oh, boy, am I scared. I feel like every series is a make or break series now. And the Phillies and Reds are playing in the series of doom and despair for Mets fans. I don't know who I want to win. At this point, I'm rooting for the Phillies. Because I'm saying to myself, we are 5.5, as a Mets fan, 5.5 games back of the Phillies, while the Reds are only 1.5 games back of the Mets. So naturally, I want to see more ground separated from the team that's close to us than gain ground on the team that's far from us. But that means the team behind us also catches up. Because what's more realistic? The Reds take over the final wild card spot, or the Mets take over the NL East? Reds take over the wild card spot.
Yeah, being what? They're a game and a half up on them right now, the Mets?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, it's weird how the that those 3 teams in NL East work. I don't know if I told you, but I was telling a couple people, like, before the season started, like, the NL East is weird. The Mets own the Phillies, the Braves own the Mets, and the Phillies own the Braves. It's so weird. Like, it doesn't matter how good each team is, who's on the roster. Every time the Mets play the Braves, you think the Braves are going to find a way to win. Granted, Strider pitches tonight, I believe, and don't the Mets do really well against them?
Yeah, Spencer Strider guy owns the Mets, and Clay Holmes is going tonight for the Mets.
They have no chance today.
So I mean, this is a disaster.
Yeah, they're
Clay
down
Holmes
one.
Give you 4 innings at the max. How about Frankie Montas in Milwaukee? Did you see this? Reed Garrett opened the game for Frankie Montas, and he couldn't even get through 4 innings.
Nope.
Because Montas. There's nobody in this Mets rotation, literally, and I'm not exaggerating this, outside of David Peterson that will get me through the 6th inning. There's nobody.
They really needed an arm at the deadline. They needed a starting pitcher at the deadline in the worst way. A legit proven starter. Not necessarily an ace, but a guy who can give you length, and they didn't get it.
And, okay, you couldn't get it. That's fine. Noah McLean and Brandon Sproat, they'll get called up.
You would think, right? They should be up. They should have been up yesterday.
When are they going to get called up? Why do they have games up on the Reds? The season's slipping. Call the kids up. I'm sick of Clay Holmes, Frankie Montas, Godai Sega giving me 5 pathetic damn innings. I'm sick of it. Call the kids up, please. I'm begging you.
They should have been up yesterday. Yeah, it's bad. Because, like, you see it, you see it all the times with teams that are struggling. They bring up the youth, and all of a sudden, a fire gets lit. I mean, in 23, the Yankees brought up Dominguez, and they started playing good, fun baseball again. The Mets bring up Sprout. They bring up McLean. Like, that can inject life into this lifeless team. Every time on my phone, I see a tweet from Frank Fleming, and it's, another gutless performance from Limp Door, or, Soto sucks, or Clay Pigeon, anything like that. You got to inject life into this team, and I think the only way they can do that is by bringing up Sproat. I mean, we saw him in spring training. Just look at him on the mound, with the tight pants and the mustache. Like, he looks cool. Like, that'll bring fans into the seats. Just to, like, Brandon Sproat's pitching today. Get a pair of tight pants on. Like, he's cool. He's a guy who you want
tight pants
in big games.
Sproat.
I would wear the tightest pants I could find if I was a Met fan.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if Brandon Sproat's on the mound, you see the butt on that guy, the curves, man. That'll get asses in seats for sure. And even even if you call the kids up and you don't want them to start, like Noah McLean is a perfect example of that. He has not logged the amount of innings that you'd like to see as somebody who would want to be called up. Put him in the bullpen. The guy's strikeout stuff is unbelievable. I made a video on this the other day. Noah McLean has struck out at least 6 batters in 8 of his last 9 starts. And that's 10 strikeouts in back-to-back starts in that span. So even if you don't want to put him in the starting rotation, he's a perfect guy to have there who, A, can give you length, 2, has good swing and miss stuff, and 3, if you really are stubborn enough to not throw Clay Holmes in the bullpen, which I think you should at this point, and you want Clay Holmes to start, or better yet, Kodai Senga is a better example, somebody who's good but can only give you so many innings, then he's a really good bridge guy, McLean. And then all you have to do is go to a Helsley or Diaz. And you don't have to go through the 4 steps of the quote-unquote super pen, which, by the way, blew the game against the Brewers in the final game of that series.
Yep.
It's, you need something. And I think these kids are the perfect something for the Mets. Even if you don't want to start them, put them in the bullpen.
You don't have to play them. Just bring them up, have them in the dugout, or have them in the bullpen. Just make it known like that they are there. They are, one step away from the opportunity of taking a guy's spot. Like Frankie Montas, he should not have a job. Clay Holmes, he should not be a starting pitcher anymore. Kodai Senga, you may send him back overseas, like with the way those guys are pitching. Sproat and McLean, they are on the doorstep. They are waiting, salivating for opportunity. And it's the same thing with what we brought up with Boone and, keeping guys in the lineup for too long or not having any accountability. Like, it's the same type of thing here. Like, these guys are ready to go. They're right there on the doorstep. Like, they should have an opportunity to play. And the guys like Frankie Montas continue to be trotted out onto the field for no reason. Like, they don't deserve it. Sproat deserves a shot. Just if he sucks, he sucks. Give him a chance. Let him show you what he's got.
But it's when do you make the decision to call them up? Because it should have happened a week ago, in my opinion. And you just brought up a haul of AA guys to AAA. So I thought that was a sign of these will be the replacements as you get these new guys up. But I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. And, I mean, just look at these next series for the Mets. The Braves. That's a tough series, dude. And then you don't even play. It's a home game, but you don't even play it at home because you're playing the Mariners in that stupid Little League Classic this year. And then it's the Nationals.
I didn't know you're doing that. Yeah.
This is a big make or break for the Mets. 3 against the Braves, 3 against the Mariners. You're home, quote unquote, for all those games. Then you go to Washington for 3 games. And the Nationals have been the worst team in the league since the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's got to be a sweep.
And then you go to Atlanta, which I know the House of Horrors, but man, if you are the team that you're supposed to be, and you're supposed to be showing your true colors right now, you better go to Atlanta and take care of business. You better. And then after that, it's the Phillies, which, again, it could be a make or break series, which, honestly, right now, Jeremy, if I'm being completely honest with you, I am looking at these next 9 games, or next 12 games, I should say, as the last time I'll be watching competitive Mets baseball. So I think the second they play the Phillies, the season's going to end. I truly believe the second the Mets and Phillies play a series of baseball, that will be it. The Mets will be written off, and the Reds, who I can't even say the word I want to say, that I denounced all season long, that I made fun of, and I made fun of people who are saying they were going to be playoff contenders. The irony and the karma of watching the Reds take the Mets spot will be my undoing.
That'll be bad. That'll be that Red team is not very strong. I think they're just hot, and they're fun. They got a couple guys on the roster. It's like, all right, they're fun to watch, but there's no reason why they should be near the Mets in a wild card spot. Listen, to be completely honest with you, last year I thought in the playoffs in the DS when the Mets played the Phillies, I figured it'd be over in 3 games. I figured the Mets would go home and the Phillies would send them packing. But the Mets always play the Phillies tough. So even if they're 500 going into that series, like they always find a way to play the Phillies tough. So, and the Mets are a team that kind of play up and down to their competition. At least I think. Maybe not this weekend against Milwaukee, but in past examples, like against the Phillies and against the Dodgers and teams like that, they play up to competition, and they always find ways to play the Phillies tough. Granted, is this year different? Probably with how things are going recently for them, but It takes one good week, one good series to get a team going, and maybe that's all they need to play a really, really good team that
I don't know.
in their division. But I don't know. They're lifeless right now, and maybe Sproat comes up for that series. Maybe he gets a start in that series. Who knows? But they're lifeless. They need some type of oomph to get it going. They need some type of injection somewhere.
And you know what annoys me too the most, I think, out of all of this? Is that the Mets could have easily won that series against the Brewers. And
Yeah,
game 3, and I'm sure you didn't watch it, but I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened,
I
Jeremy.
watched. I have bad news for you.
You watched all of it.
Bottom of the 8th, I live bet the Brewers when they were
Oh
down.
my God, that explains it all, huh?
Yeah,
I had a feeling. Jeremy must have lied bet the Brewers after I saw the walk-off home run. I go, you know what? That was Jeremy's doing.
I did.
But
I was
if you saw the beginning of that game, small
5-0.
ball, the Mets are bunting. They're stealing bases. They're up 5-0. You got home runs from Mullins and Beatty, guys who aren't exactly giving you those consistently every day. And it just felt like the Mets were doing everything right. And I went to the Mets group chat. Me, James, and Joe all met each other there, and we said, how are we going to lose this one? And sure enough. But
Yeah,
you say it half jokingly, you say it half not. And with the Mets, they showed me really good baseball that game. And if you put up 5 runs against that Brewers team, and they're scrappy, by the way. I'm not sitting here denouncing the Brewers by any means. They're the best team in the league. But, man, you're telling me the bullpen couldn't lock it down just once?
Yeah.
And they were getting the runs back in bunches, and you just felt like it was a slow death again. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. And that's what it was.
Yeah,
again.
And I was at the card show for the first 6 innings of that game, so I only saw the 7th inning and on. I don't know who came in for the 5th and 6th for the Mets. I know the Brewers got 2 and 3 back in those innings. The 8th inning with Helzer, that's brutal. He didn't look good. And that's the thing with...
Because he pitched the day before, too.
Yeah, right.
The day before.
That's the thing with not getting length from your starters. Like, you're hoping you can bring in, 3 or 4, maybe even 5 guys into a game, and you're hoping they're on. You're hoping they're perfect every single time. And it's just, like, they're human. It's not going to happen. And the Brewers, like you said, they're a very, very scrappy baseball team. That's just their MO. You got guys like Joey Ortiz in that lineup who battle. And I believe, wasn't it Ortiz who hit the tying single that nicked off Alonso's glove in the 8th? It was like, that's the 9 hitter. Like, that's just the type of team they are. And then in the bottom of the 9th, Diaz gets brought in, gets an out. He didn't pitch for a couple of days before that, I believe.
Yeah, he was on plenty of rest.
Yeah, he just didn't look right either. Like, he couldn't control the fastball. His first pitch of the outing was a wild pitch that moved guys to second and third.
Yeah.
I believe it was a slider. He didn't look right. It's like the whole team just up and down the roster is just lifeless. And it makes no sense because, like, they're in the midst of a insanely tight race right now. Like, I hate to keep bringing them up, but Frank Fleming, every single game, it feels like I get a tweet in like the 5th or 6th inning, and it says another lifeless game from the Mets. And a lot of it comes from guys like Alonso and Lindor. Because, Soto's not a leader. That's not who he is. But Alonso and Lindor, they are just lifeless right now. And it's infectious with the team. When Alonso's going, when he's hitting, the Mets follow. Yeah. When he's not, this is what you get. It's crazy that, it feels like 1 or 2 guys dictate the entirety of the lineup. But when Alonso's slumping, it feels like the entire team is also slumping.
And you can say that for a lot of the guys, too, because with Lindor, who, if you want to split it up by pre-broken toe versus post-broken toe, you can. Jeremy, I'm going to be totally honest with you. He broke his pinky toe. I understand it's the pivot foot when you swing at the left side. But that's June. That was mid-June. I don't know how long it takes to heal. Did it fully heal? Did it not? Do I want to blame the pinky toe?
I want to be even more honest with you. I had no idea he even broke his toe.
That's what, if you listen to a lot of Mets broadcasts, which, obviously I know you don't as a Yankees fan, there's a lot. I don't listen to Yankees broadcasts, so I'm not going to shun you for that. It's just how it is. And, they always bring up the stats. They always bring it up. Pre-broken toe versus post-broken toe in L.A. Ironic enough, that's where freaking Judge stubbed his toe and was out for the year. Yeah. And, give him time to rest, give him time to heal. You can't anymore. But Lindor has been terrible. He's been the Lindor of the beginning of last season. He's done a complete 180 from last year. The entire Mets team has. And at this point, I know that they're not going to do it, and you can call me crazy for saying it, but how Lindor's played defense over the last couple of games, he's made some big errors. I would sit him for a game. I really would, just to let him get in the right headspace. At the end of the day, these guys are human as much as they are athletes.
Yeah.
And I just think he needs to sit a game, just give him the right headspace. If you want to pinch hit him late, go ahead. But he's just got to figure it out for himself before anything else. He needs an off day. And I know you can't give your star shortstop an off day in this kind of race, but he's not helping you win at all. He's been a total liability.
What do you have? 2 hours on Friday? I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one. Like like a guy like him, that doesn't happen. Something's obviously wrong more than just the physical side of the game. Something's going on mentally. I don't think giving him a day off is a bad idea at all. Will it happen? I highly doubt it. Because again, I don't know. I mean, you have Acuna who could probably slide over and play shortstop. I don't know who else is on the roster on the bench to play the infield, to play shortstop besides him. McNeil, I guess, could do it. Like just a day to say, hey, Frankie, listen, it's nothing personal. Take the day to relax. If we need you later in the game to swing, we'll do that. But I don't think giving him a day off is a bad idea at all. You said they're human beings. They're not robots like this, especially playing in the New York market in a playoff race like they're in right now. It's going to harp on a guy, especially when every game he's getting, mentioned on Twitter, like, oh, you suck, oh, limp door, right? Can't hit, whatever it is. Like, there's no way they don't see that. There's no way they don't know. They get the newspaper, I'm sure. They see everything that's going on social media. He needs a day, maybe two, to just sit back and just watch, just relax.
I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I really don't. Donnie, I don't even know. I don't even want to think about that right now, Donnie.
I forgot he's a free agent.
We'll cross that bridge when it gets there. And by the way, Donnie, Pete Alonso, who is putting up these MVP type numbers, and he's been good homegrown guy, but he's definitely not getting that contract that we thought the Mets were going to have to pay him in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He was a consistent 290, 280. I think he's down to like 260. His OPS is like the second highest on the team now. He dipped under Soto, which, obviously expect Soto to do that when he leads the league in walks every year. But where he was in the beginning of that, it's pretty remarkable. A lot of these guys, they just haven't performed like you expect them to. And they've completely lost the division. And I don't know if you saw what Brandon Nimmo said the other day, but I really didn't like what he said at all. They asked him, do you think that the division is getting away from you guys? And Nimmo goes, no. And I'm not expecting him to sit there and say, oh, well, yeah, the division is really getting away from us. We got to panic. I'm not expecting him to say that. But he's sitting there and he's going, he's saying things like, well, we can still go on a run. There's still time to go on a run. Pete Alonso was saying that in 2021 and 2022 when the Mets were losing the season. And history repeats itself, man. And that was the same cookie cutter answer we got from the superstar Pete Alonso back-to-back years when the Mets were watching the season get away from them. And for once in my life, I would just love for a player like JD Martinez, who did it last year, just call out the team. And not by name, because if I'm a player and they go, do you think the division's getting away? I'll be totally honest with you. We're not playing good baseball right now. I'm calling out everybody, including myself. None of us are playing good baseball right now. Because that lights a fire under the team's ass. I don't know if the Mets have that leader. We talked about Francisco Lindor being that. I just don't know if we have that from Lindor in the clubhouse this year. I feel like you would have seen something change by now. I don't know. I really don't know.
I think a lot of the Lindor struggles, now this may sound stupid, but I think a lot of it is because he didn't get named captain. I think he was really bought in mentally to being named the next captain, and now he's just kind of let down that it didn't happen. It's affecting him on and off the field. And the whole thing with the Nimmo answer, I agree with you. I mean, there's no accountability with that. Yeah, we can go on and on. Call it how it is. Like, we're all watching it, but it's just nice to know that they are being – like they're holding themselves accountable. When there's no accountability, when there's no one, calling it like it really is, it feels like they don't really care almost. I'm sure that, I know they do. Like, you obviously know these guys care, but it feels like they don't when they give you answers like that, when they say things like that. And it just allows them to try to like hide from the fact of what's really going on. And when you're getting paid that much money to play, to play baseball, to go out every day to play for the New York Mets, like that should be an honor to put on that jersey every day, even though if I had to wear it, I'd probably want to burn it. like to be a part of that franchise and get paid the money they get paid, to just hide from the fact that they are playing bad baseball right now, and to sugarcoat and cookie cut things to the media and to the fans. That's not fair to the fans. That's not fair to the fan base at all. Like show some accountability. Show that you realize you guys aren't playing up to the standard that they should be playing at, and make something happen. Don't tell them, yeah, we could probably go on a run. Like, we're a good team. You're not playing like one. You haven't been playing like one for months. Figure it out. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the guys around you. And have the season start today. Like, the Mets season starts today. Just like the Rockies, it starts today.
Yep. I mean, that should legitimately be what that conversation is like. Season starts today. I loved JD Martinez last year, what he said. How it was all about everyone thinks we're the worst team in the league. We can't hit. So let's go out and hit. Let's go out there and be the worst team in the league until we're not. That's what the mindset has to be. You just got to go out there and play bad baseball until you don't, because eventually it's going to turn a corner. And while we are on the topic of blaming people, I'll be like every other Mets fan, because I do agree with them. Eric Chavez has to go after this season.
Yeah.
And David Stearns, what he said, I think our hitting coaches are doing exceptionally well. Oh boy. I hope he's just saying that to not cause some dysfunction in the locker room, but not so much with the big guys. But why is it Beatty, Vientos, Mauricio, and Alvarez have all shown extreme struggles after getting called up? And Mets have guys waiting in the wings. Carson Bench next year, Jet Williams next year. Those are going to be guys who eventually will get called up. And we're excited for them as Mets fans. Give Chavez a month, and they'll be 700 OPS guys. They'll be under the average OPS plus. They'll be batting 220, because that's just what Chavez, I feel like, is doing to these young guys. Is it a coincidence that Soto's having his worst year at the plate with Chavez, the hitting coach? I don't know. Is it the pressure of the contract? Is it a distraction? It very well could be. It's a lot to blame. A lot of blame going around at the wrong time for the Mets. Could you blame Stearns for how we built this rotation? We were saying it when the season started. We knew it wouldn't last. I don't think we knew it would get to this point, but we knew it wouldn't last. I mean, a whole lot of blame to go around. A whole lot of blame. And Donnie, I'll agree with you. Management needs to take accountability. As I say that, maybe like a hypocrite, I really don't think a lot of this is on Mendoza, though. I feel like he's done everything he could.
Because I feel like Mendy is kind of just like another Boone. I feel like he's another middleman. You know what I mean? The analytical department are probably driving all the decisions, and a lot of things are probably premeditated. Like Clay Holmes going 4 innings when he only has 70 pitches and he's throwing really well and getting taken out in the 5th doesn't make any sense. Other than the fact that it was a premeditated thing. Like that doesn't make any sense. Soto having the worst year of his career doesn't make any sense. I think Chavez is to blame there. I think, the whole, like, Brandon Nimmo, I don't know how long Chavez has been around, but Brandon Nimmo, when he first kind of came onto the scene, he was a high contact guy, get on base and walk a lot. I don't see that with him anymore. He's like a guy I feel like he's home run or bust now.
Strikes out a whole lot. For a guy who used to walk
4 years ago.
That wasn't his
game.
What
I mean? Like not everyone needs to be a guy who's going to have to jack the ball 400 feet. Like, you don't need a lineup of 9 guys doing that. Look at the teams who win the World Series every year. The Dodgers didn't have that last year. The Astros have never had that. The 2019 Nationals didn't have that. You need 2, maybe 3 guys who are your home run threats. Everyone else, get on base around them. Set the table.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
You're not going to win a World Series with 9 guys trying to jack the ball out, 6 times a game. Like the Yankees last night, I think all of their runs came, but not all of them, but I think 4 of their runs last night came on home runs, and they scored 6. Like, it's not a repeatable thing. You're going to face a pitcher who is going to hit his spots and is going to make pitchers pitches. Like, that's not a way you can win baseball games night in, night out. There has to be the brand of baseball, not just with the Yankees and the Mets, with all of the MLB is just tarnished. It's home run or bust, it feels like, with everybody.
And you know what's incredible with Eric Chavez? And I know I had this right, but I had to go see. Now, this is actually probably defending Chavez a little bit, but I really just can't ignore these numbers. He came in as the Mets hitting coach in 2022. 101 wins. They go the other way. They look great. Sure, whatever. Good job, Chavez, there. He is the Mets bench coach in 2023. Obviously, the Mets are a bad team in 2023. Not a lot goes right for them. But the big thing is that was the year that Francisco Alvarez had the 25 home runs. He didn't have the highest OPS in that year, but he had the power. And that was without Chavez being the hitting coach. Then he came back, and Alvarez was a total disaster. And for this year, it's the same of old. So I don't think Chavez is as bad as we like to say. He definitely should be fired. I mean, how these young guys have fit. He's put such a stain on all these young guys, I feel like. But, I mean, I don't know. It feels like a mess right now with the guy. I feel like that he is a primary reason, if not the sole reason, that these young guys are hitting wall after wall when getting called up.
Yeah, I think that's where the finger's got to be pointed, at least majority of them. And as frustrating as it is, like, you're not going to fire a guy in August. It just doesn't happen.
No, it would have had to been done already. It would have been done before the All-Star break. If you were going to fire somebody, it would have been before the All-Star break. And you got to have a plan on who to bring in next. And it's way easier to sit here and be picky about it. But if you really feel like you don't have confidence for anybody to fill his role and teach guys a new way of hitting, which I see fans calling for JD Martinez to be the hitting coach, I would love that next year if JD Martinez came back as a Mets hitting coach. So, I mean, guy was known for it. Mr. DH. He was power, he was contact, he was average, he was everything. I would love if JD Martinez came to be Mets hitting coach next season. I feel like a lot, and he's a guy that the players love because they rallied behind him before. I mean, total mess.
Like, at the end of the day, it's just head scratching.
All right, man. We went a long time on New York baseball here. We'll go a little quick with some speed rounds. A lot to cover. Nothing good. We'll do some speed rounds here with league-wide news in the MLB because I told you, Jeremy, I said it maybe a month ago or 3 weeks ago. I said the Mariners are going to win the AL West when they were about 5-6 games back of the Astros. They're a game back today. I told it Mariners are winning that division. I am 100% confident.
That pitching staff and the way that lineup is constructed, they are a complete team. They were missing the power bats. That's what they're missing. They're missing, Naylor and Suarez. Granted, Suarez has not been very good since coming over at the deadline, but there's other guys in the lineup who can pick him up. It's not like he's back on the D-backs and he's one of 3 or 4 guys who can hit. Granted, one of those guys was also Josh Naylor. So, it's a complete team up and down. The bullpen's really good. You have Munoz waiting to close out games for you. And, you got Kirby, Wu, Gilbert, Castillo. It's beautiful. It really is nice to see a team like that. And the fact that it's the Mariners, they've been so it's so hard to watch them in years past because the whole playoff drought and getting close and not getting in or getting in, and then they blow a big lead. I think it was 2022 against Toronto in the wild card series. It feels like Seattle baseball is finally turning a corner, and it's nice to see. Just for being a fan of the game and the fact that the way that team is constructed with so many cool names and cool players, it's nice to see.
I hope so. What do you remember what year it was? If it was 22 or 23 when Cal Raleigh hit the walk-off home run to send them to the playoffs, they broke.
It was 22, I think.
It was 22. That's when it felt like the Mariners turned a corner, and then they took some steps back with that. I mean, obviously Suarez leaves and whatnot, and Josh Naylor is interesting. His previous career high in stolen bases was 10. He's at 22 this year.
Yeah, Naylor's good, dude.
Yeah, Josh Naylor is a good baseball player.
I hated him in Cleveland. He went to Arizona, and I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pudgy fella, but, man, he knows how to get it done. He can do it on the base path.
He's like a Rizzo type of guy. He's obviously not fast, but he knows how to run the bases. Base running and being a fast guy are different things.
Yes, and I was going to bring that up. That's what I also wanted to bring up. I mean, obviously, Matt and Joe, remember their whole debacle with Soto and stealing bases the other day? Soto's got
I was in and out of the group chat. I didn't really read
it. My God. It was a disaster. Soto's got 18 stolen bases this year. Not a fast guy, but if you just learn base running, you don't need to be fast when it comes to stealing bases. You just got to know when to time it.
Especially against guys in the bullpen, late in games. Yeah. They don't know how to hold runners on. They can't slide step. A guy gets on, and they're in the stretch, and they freak out with a guy on. You put any type of pressure on a guy now, they don't know what to do with themselves. Against Milwaukee on Sunday, Soto was on. I think he walked in, the 8th, I think it was, where he got on. I forget exactly how, but he got on, and he had a huge lead. He was dancing around at first base, and you don't see that out of Juan Soto.
No. And the great thing? If they look back and throw it over, he's dead to rights.
Dead. 15 feet off the bag. He still has another 65 feet
Yeah.
to I think that's the right number. 65 feet over to second. Like he's dead to rights. But no one throws over. No one is comfortable, especially relievers. No one is comfortable picking off the first base.
Yeah, the Mets do that big walking lead. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
That's what they've been
It
taught. And
works.
Soto has been picked off once or twice doing it. It hasn't been perfect.
But like it's a good risk to take, especially when you need a guy to get over. Like especially if you're struggling that day, like if you have a guy on, you can just get the second base pretty much for free with no throw and have a huge lead. Like that's a guy like Juan Soto doing that, or a guy like Josh Naylor doing that. That's eye opening for the entire team because then you get say Rodriguez gets on for the Mariners, he's gonna go, and Rosarena gets on, he's gonna go. Like it has a team wide domino effect, and good baseball teams know how to take advantage of situations like that, and that's what teams like the Brewers do and the Mariners do. That's why they're going to win games come October.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's just that always how it feels. Thank you, Donnie. Means a lot.
Thanks, Don.
How about this? One more from Donnie here, and then I don't know if we're going to be able to get any more in on him. Jeremy, I'm going to let you take this one over and your opinion on this because this is interesting. And I think this is a very good take from Donnie. And I think he's onto something here.
I mean, yeah, I don't hate that take. I know you brought up Martinez doing it. DJ was a guy from 2017 to like 2020. He was arguably the best hitter in the league. Granted,
it was
best 3-ish years. He like wasn't a hitter in the league. He was just a guy who held a bat. But like he knows a lot about the game. Obviously, he was a 2-time batting champ. If that's the direction they went, maybe they learn how to hit more situationally. Granted, you don't need DJ hitting the ball for him to be a hitting coach. So I wouldn't hate that, Tony.
You know how to hit without hitting.
Like, if he obviously knew what he was doing, if he could talk about the game and teach guys how to hit with 2 strikes, how to hit with guys on, how to be a situational hitter, that's huge. Because then you turn guys like Anthony Volpe from a 220 guy to maybe a 260 guy, and he starts spraying the right side of the field. Or a guy like Jazz Chisholm, who loves to yank balls to the short porch. If you can get him to consistently go the other way, shoot down the left field line, and use the entire field, like that opens up the Yankees lineup so much. And then you have guys on for Judge and Stanton. And if you can teach Austin Wells how to hit a baseball, or we'll start with the beach ball first. If you can start teaching guys like Austin Wells how to hit a beach ball and then work his way down to smaller balls like a baseball, they're in really good shape.
Yeah.
If that's the direction they go, I don't even know. To be honest, I don't even know who the hitting coach now is. I have no idea who it is. I don't like the job he's doing, but whoever it is, I don't know it.
Not working.
If they went with DJ, that'd be kind of cool. Very nostalgic.
Interesting. I would probably stay away from DJ LeMahieu, but I like the optimism. All right, here we go. A little more league-wide news. Mariners, talked about them. Brewers, I mean, is there anything else to talk about the Brewers? They've won 10 straight. They are like by far and away the best team in the MLB. Let's play a game. Who do the Brewers lose to in the playoffs? Because I will guarantee you right now on August 12th that they will not make the World Series.
Well, I was watching 2 games. I watched the game on Saturday night and the game on Sunday with Vic's grandpa. He's a huge Met fan. He said like 7 times, I hope we see these guys in the playoffs. We could beat them.
He said to the Brewers? Oh, my God.
He was saying that the
Mets can beat the Brewers. Oh, how about this? Phillies jumped ahead of LA. I'm looking at who they would play. Yeah. So if the playoffs ended today, it would be Mets-Dodgers in Los Angeles, which is a disaster for the Mets, even though they play them well. So the Brewers would play the lowest seed. So that would probably be the Padres. I can see the Padres knocking out.
Padres, 100%.
I totally see the Padres knocking out the.
I had $30 of bonus bets and on Fanatics. I put it on the Padres in the World Series.
I think it's a good bet. They're probably my favorite right now. I agree with you, Donnie. But I just don't know if the Dodgers are going to see them in time. If the Padres see them first, then I'm sure the Padres will get it.
Dude, oh my God.
It'd be a great series.
The Padres remind me of the Mariners a little bit. Like, that's a complete team.
They are a complete team. And again, it's just one of those teams where I got to see them get to the World Series before I say I
want to see them win it too. Like, if it's not the Yankees, which it's not going to be, I want to see the Padres do it because there's so many likable guys on that team. Nando, Machado, Arias. I'm a big Dylan Cease guy. Like, And the bullpen is so good. It's so good. You're gonna need 3 starters come the playoff time, and then you could go to Estrada, Suarez, Miller. Like that,
Yeah.
it's absurd.
I mean, they look good. They look good, and they need to, because what they do at every deadline, where they just sell the farm and buy the farm back year after year,
Yeah,
if they just win one World Series,
it's worth it.
then you can justify it all. You can justify the Juan Soto trade and getting rid of James Wood and being the next superstar in the league. Like, you can justify all this. You could justify getting rid of the number 3 prospect in all of baseball for Mason Miller, who might be a rental. You know, if all it takes is one World Series and it's all justifiable. But until then, I think we're going to look at AJ Preller as a guy who is a maniac.
He's insane.
And it's
absolutely
insane. It's insane what the guy does. It's like he actually plays on GM mode and accepts all his trade on MLB The Show.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's kind of fun. It's like, you put on force trade on Madden and just build a super team.
It feels like
every year.
That's what. But it's just that it's never guys that, I mean, obviously some of them, like Manny Machado is going to retire a Padre, and you have stuff like that. But you have big conversations with Michael King in the offseason, who you traded Soto for. I don't know. The guy's a maniac. It takes one World Series, and he could justify every single boneheaded move the guy's made. Because then it's not boneheaded anymore. Then it's genius.
On the Farmingdale Wiffle group.
Oh, let's hear it.
Kelly suffered a torn Achilles dancing in Florida.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah. This guy can't catch a break, dude. That's why I was on my phone.
It's not funny. It's not funny. We love Mike Kelly. We love, and I hope he gets better soon.
You can only imagine what he's saying to Cam, dude.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, for anybody watching, Mike Kelly is a hard ass guy, like hard ass, no BS type of guy, and him dancing alone is just one thing that can make me laugh.
Now, imagine all the chores Cam's got to do now. All the extra things he's got to do. People are never going to see him again, especially throughout the school year, dude.
My God. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I first saw the picture. I thought he lost his foot.
Oh, my God. Yeah, right?
I couldn't see his foot. But I was thinking, there's no way he's going to post his dad without a foot.
Oh, where are you seeing this? Where is this news breaking?
A Cam's private story.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the group chat.
Happened.
Oh, my God. Look at him. Poor Mike.
It's our warrior. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Wow, that's sad. We'll get well soon, Mike.
Yes.
I'm sorry that Florida didn't go well. All right, but back to the news. Phillies wagon. Yohan Duran, dude's a stud. What else do we got there? They're gonna win the NL East. They'll probably finish with the 2nd seed in the National League, because why wouldn't they?
Yep. I want to see them.
Part of me still thinks the Mets could beat the Phillies in the playoffs. Like, part of me still thinks.
I agree. They kind of have the Phillies number. Like,
it's a delusional part of me.
It's a good series. I think anytime you get a divisional playoff matchup, it's always a good series. Doesn't matter who's playing. But the fact that we Mets, if you get that again, I do think the way the Phillies went out last year was pretty sad. So I don't think guys like Harper, Castellanos, Turner, Realmuto, I don't think they'd be too ready to roll over and die again like they did last October. So I think that would even make for a better series because they're hungry. Like, Harper needs a ring. He deserves a ring.
He does. I gotta see his numbers this year. I don't think Harper's been all that good this year, but Schwarber's been out of his mind.
Yeah, Schwarber's been their best guy. I think Realmuto's been a close second.
He could win MVP, Kyle Schwarber. There's a legitimate chance he wins MVP this year.
And if Ohtani's going to keep homering every other night, it's going to be tough. But
it's amazing. What a world we live in. I mean, I guess Ohtani pitches now this year, so that definitely gives him the heads up. But
yeah,
virtually 2 DHs are going out and winning the MVP. That's just nuts to think about. Let's see Harper's stats. 851 OPS for a 260 average. Yeah, okay, he's getting it done.
That's
he's
getting it done.
Yeah, I thought it was worse. Yeah, he looks great. Yeah, dude, Phillies look scary. The bank will be terrifying as always.
Yeah, now they have the end of the bullpen figured out. It's much different than Craig Kimbrell or David Robinson. I know they just called him back up, but he's not gonna have to close games. You have the Durantula, so
oh my God,
they're in a much better place than they were in years past.
And Harrison Bader, by the way,
I forgot they have Bader.
Absolutely hurts. That is a Philly now after what he did for the Mets last year. He's already hit a big home run for them, which won him a game, and he had made a game-saving robbed home run. The guy's been a Philly for 2 weeks, and he's already had 2 vintage moments with the Phillies.
Yeah, I get used to seeing that in the playoffs. I mean, he was phenomenal in the 2022 Yankees playoff run, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be nice for me to see it, being a Yankees fan, seeing him doing the Phillies uniform. For you, it's going to hurt a lot.
Oh, my God, it's going to suck, even especially if the Mets have to play him. I mean, I can only
do something against the Mets that's going to, like, tear your heart out.
I hope he'll get a nice tribute when they play the Mets at home.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to get a really nice tribute because
he's another guy,
such
like,
a big...
I don't know anyone who doesn't like Harrison Bader.
Yeah. I mean, he was such a big part of that 2014. Even though he was really struggling at the end there, but he was such a big part of that team. All right. League-wide news out of the way. Reds are on the Mets' tail. We'll do quick football stuff before we get out of here. Fields look good. Jackson Dart looked good.
Yeah.
We're happy. As football fans, we're happy right now, huh?
Very content.
It's good for us.
I saw the first drive, the first offensive drive with the Jets on Saturday night. Yeah. I immediately was typing on my phone, texting everyone. I'm like, I'm so bought into this team. I love the team. Yeah. I'm so excited for the season. Granted, I was monitoring tweets from Connor Hughes. The Jets and Giants had a joint practice today. I don't think Justin Fields was doing really well in like 7-on-7s. Then both teams had like a move the ball period. Both offenses not very good.
No,
which is that surprising? No. But yeah, Fields looked really good. I'm concerned with Breece Hall. He just doesn't look like he has that second gear that he once did. Even last year, it looked like he was a little quicker. Granted, he only had 3 or 4 attempts max. But he just looks a little slower. I think Braylon Allen is going to be like the X factor of this Jet offense.
A lot of Jets guys are really high on him.
He's like 20, maybe 21 years old. Huge dude. He's like a power back. The way Aaron Glenn described it with the running back committee the Jets have, it's like Gibbs and Montgomery again. Which I see a little bit of the comparison. I mean,
it's a lesser version. A much lesser version of that.
It's like a B team version of where the Jets are a Lions B team. That's what they are.
Yeah, I mean, with Aaron Glenn as the coach, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of the parallels. You have Goff coming over trying to prove himself. Same with Justin Fields. You have a new head coach who played for the team. You have a running back committee who is supposed to be really good. You have your revamped offensive line. You have good pieces on your defense. Like the parallels are absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. I was so impressed with Sauce, the way he played. Locked down. There's a couple routes where he pretty much ran the route with the receiver. Yeah. I think he was with Golden, and even like he got beat off the first step. Still come back, made a really nice play on the ball. He looked like he learned how to tackle a little bit too, which is really nice because he can't do that. So if Sauce learned how to tackle, that's huge. Justin Fields, man, he looked phenomenal. Ran in a touchdown. The pocket for him, he had like 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball every time. If that's what the Jets are going to be this year, like they're going to be fun to watch, which sounds so weird to say because I have never seen that. If the O-line is really going to be like it was advertised as on Saturday, I'm excited for the season because the biggest issue with them that I can remember has been their O-line and the quarterback play. If you're going to give a guy like Justin Fields time to figure out where he wants to go with the ball, and if he doesn't have anything, he's just going to tuck it and go. Like, there's so many ways the Jet offense can work this year, and that's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah, a lot of good things from Fields. I mean, you know me, I'm not very high on Fields. I'm not a Justin Fields hater. I'm just not high on the guy. I feel like I haven't seen a lot to be high on. Yeah, his legs are awesome. That'll always be there, and it's something that the Jets haven't had since you said Zach Wilson last week, or on Tuesday, I should say, or last Thursday, I should say. Today's Tuesday. But I mean, if he could throw and figure it out in the pocket, it'll be good. Do I think he will? That's still yet to be seen. But Jets offense have the pieces. I definitely do think the most interesting dynamic is what's going to happen with Breece Hall. Because he's the odd man out in the contracts, which I think everyone could have predicted he would have been, especially with the ACL injury. Good running back, but what do we know? Running backs are replaceable.
Yeah, he said replaceable. He said it like a couple days after Sauce and Garrett got extended. He said, "I'm not their guy. I know that." I don't think that's like a knock to the front office, but Like he's in a put up or shut up type of year. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like there's so much around him. Like there's so much talent that he has, but we have yet to see it in a full season.
yeah,
He is a great back, but when you have Braylon Allen, who seems like he's only getting better with time, you're only going to get extended if you outplay him. And I'd love to bring him back if the price is right to have the running back committee. I think Hall is a great player.
mhm.
You're also not going to shell out that money to a running back. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Joe Mixon. Like he's just not those guys. He's in the second or third tier of running backs in the NFL. Granted, that's still a very good group to be with, but he's not, a McCaffrey. He's not a Gibbs. He has to prove it for a full year, and we have yet to see that from Brees Hall. He's shown
Yeah, I mean,
signs,
absolutely.
but he's never put it together for a full 17 games.
I mean, Brees Hall's 24 years old. I mean, not bad. Again, a good age. Braylon Allen's 21, and the workload that he got last year, and you can only expect that to grow this season. I think that this could be a year where the Jets slowly but surely transition into a new running back one at the end of the year. I could be wrong, but that's where I'm coming from. And what else?
Yeah.
Giants looked good. Scattaboo looked good. Neighbors looked good. Jackson Dart looked great. A lot of good things there. And I'll leave it at that. I mean, not really much to harp on the Giants. I'm happy with
Yeah, I
what
didn't
Dart
get a
did.
chance to really watch the Giants. I heard Dart looked really good. I saw the
Russell
highlight.
Wilson looked good, which is the big thing.
Yeah, wasn't he 6 or 6, Wilson?
Yeah, he did go. He didn't get a lot. I think he did one drive and then he was done.
Yeah.
And then it was
I
Jackson
saw
Dart for 2 quarters.
The touchdown throw that Dart threw was sick. He put that ball in a perfect spot.
I gotta say, as a Giants fan, it feels good to not have to be forced to believe in the young quarterback. Like I can believe in Jackson Dart on my own and
You can
not have
root for
to
him,
force
though.
myself into a Daniel Jones situation.
Yeah. I think the only issue I have with them is Dable's post-game press conference.
Made a 6-7.
Yeah, dude, you're like what, 55?
Man, that's good
Come on,
vibes.
dude.
Good
That's bad.
vibes in that
No.
locker room. Didn't have that last year. Those are
No.
good vibes in the locker room. It really is amazing. The vibes in this year's preseason and training camp compared to all of last year and the last 2 years, really. Daniel Jones is a good guy, class act, but I am 100% confident that Daniel Jones was such a dark cloud over the
I'm sure he was. Yeah, because
not even because how he was, just how he sucked.
Yeah, I feel like even like when he was drafted, it was like really they went with the guy from Duke. What did he go 6 overall, something like that?
Yeah, it was a reach. It was an absolute reach.
Like, they went with this guy, and then he was there for what, 3-4 years?
Yeah, and the Giants against the at the time Redskins. They thought that the Skins were going to pick him up. And so they go, oh, we need to take him at 6 before they do. And we'll leave them with Dwayne Haskins, the guy who threw 50 touchdowns at Ohio State. We don't want him. We want the Duke guy, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I'll never defend it. Okay. Anything else you want to get in there before we get out of here?
Go Jets and go Padres.
That'll be fun. I am against at least the Padres. The Jets, I mean, I care less about the Jets. Giants and Jets don't have much of beef. All right, but that is going to do it. First live show in the books. We went for a while, man. Thank you to everybody who was watching. A huge thank you to Donnie. Guy was an absolute warrior this episode. I mean, he's probably, he gave a lot of good content for us to get through. Thank you to Donnie. Thank you to everybody watching. Time to do our shout outs. Here we go. Bunk has the bunker. Mike has mic'd up. Together they make the Burrows. JM and Mike do the Hardline Sports Talk. Gabe has the playbook. That is it. And John Cena is a face again, which makes everybody a little bit happier, and we can go to sleep a little bit easier tonight. For Jeremy Horowitz, I'm Giuseppe Oliveri. Mike Kelly, we hope you get better soon.
Yes.
So long. We'll be back on Thursday.